I've reached the part in this whole like class consciousness part where I'm just filled with the most impotent rage. And like, I'm talking that white hot, I need to sink my teeth and into something and scream kind of rage. Because what do you mean that it never had to be this hard for us? Like, what do you mean in other countries they don't have to spend 20% of their paycheck on groceries? What do you mean in other countries everyone can own homes because they're not paying $2,000 a month in rent, or that their mortgages aren't like their entire paycheck? What do you mean that people in China work one job and they don't even work 40 hours and they can easily afford their life? And then I'm over here working 60 hours a week, just me as a single parent, to like barely make ends meet. And I'm penny pinching every single second. And like, there's so much of life that my kid misses out on and that I miss out on because of money and like work and no social support net. And you mean to tell me that it didn't have to be like this? They keep us in these chains on purpose, and it never had to be like this. Like, I did everything right. I went to college. I had to drop out of college to take care of my mom when she was sick because, again, no social services, like, no safety nets. My dad worked his whole life and died and left everything to my mom. My mom was disabled, and she lived on credit, and, like, she barely made ends meet, and she did everything she was supposed to. And I did everything I was supposed to. And it just keeps getting worse. I've spent so much of my life working so hard to scrape by. And it never had to be like that. My suffering was at the expense of someone else becoming wealthy because they could. And I am so angry about this. It can't stay like this. It doesn't have to stay like this.
We can't have nice things because of your racism. And they are sick. They are learning that Americans have been living in squalor. White people are sick. They are learning that for 400 years, Black people lived in slavery. They are realizing that they are too slaves. They are sick. They are twisted. Listen, when Donald Trump came out and said, why do we keep getting people from these shithole countries? My response was, bitch, America is the shithole country. And white people are learning the truth. For the past 4 years, they've been fighting woke.
There is no American dream.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again. Now, guys, when white people, especially MAGA people, they were voting for this new administration, majority of MAGA people, they believe that this new administration policy will only affect Black people. And for a very long time, white people thought that poverty, it is only for Black people. But right now, they are coming out and realize that poverty, it is not only for Black people. Right now, we have seen so many videos of white people coming out, crying and telling us exactly how America it has turned into. So guys, I want you to watch this compilation of videos from Americans. They are coming out and admitting how life it has really changed in America. Watch this video till the end, then I'll be back with more comment. All credits goes to the original creator of the video. I'm your host, Dash Lifestyle. Remember to give a video a thumbs up.
Because the American dream is dead. The average home in the United States costs $418,000. Do you know anyone making that much money? Do you know anyone? Do you know anyone that started a business that's not drop shipping or like some sort of AI gig economy? Like, do you know anyone that owns a store? Name 2 people. Do you know anyone that our age that owns a house that did not get help from their parents? Like, there's no jobs. All the listings are fake. Jobs don't even offer healthcare. So then you're on Medicaid, you get kicked off because of the big beautiful bill that just got passed. The American dream is dead. And then they tell you you're not working hard enough. Like, make it make sense to me. So props to this creator for just verbalizing that, because I empathize 100%. You're not doing enough. America's not doing enough for you.
This will probably reach the wrong side of TikTok, but with the big beautiful bill passing, what do we do next? Like, the United States government just gave a death sentence to millions of Americans, and their only crime was being poor. It's just not being wealthy. And it's a execution sentence. And they're joyful about it, while the billionaires get to get more yachts, more tax breaks, more money, more mansions. And they're celebrating it, while kids will go starving. Kids, adults, the elderly won't get the health care they need to survive. And in America, we already have a messed up healthcare system where people won't even call 911 on themselves because they're afraid of the hospital bill. People are afraid to go to the hospital because they can't afford it. And then now they're cutting these social programs that are supposed to help people. And like, where do we go from here? And then all in the same week, you have Alligator Auschwitz, a concentration camp. And they're celebrating that as well. Joking about how we should feed the immigrants to the alligators, how we should live stream it, how Trump wants to make immigrants run away from alligators and he finds it funny. Like, how do we get past this? Because I'm not seeing any way where the other side, MAGA, could just suddenly change their mind and learn empathy or critical thinking skills. It's like there is no line they won't cross. Like, Trump could start the gas chambers and they would cheer it on. Like, they would, and that's the crazy part. Because they don't see immigrants as human beings. And this dehumanization language, it's not just towards immigrants. It's towards all marginalized groups. Like, this is just the beginning. We're not even in a year in. And all this has happened. It will only get worse. And there's no one to stop them. Like, Congress won't help. The House won't help. The Senate won't help. The judges won't help. The Supreme Court won't help. So where do we go from here? He's militarized the police. He has his own Gestapo. He's militarized ICE. And they don't even have to operate under any sort of, like, laws. They're just like his own little militia. Like, where do we go from here? We've been taken over by, like, white supremacists. And they're out and proud white supremacists, too. I'm just, like, what do we do?
Is anyone else completely sick and tired of living in America where you're expected to work your entire life? Like, we are not here to work. Our jobs are not our lives. Our jobs are not our purpose. Like, everyone asks me, like, what's your job? What are you doing with your life? Like, I'm just trying to save enough and get passive income so I can go travel the world and start my life. Like, everyone thinks their purpose is to work. Like, you get done with high school, then you go to college for 4 years, then you're $30,000 in debt, and then you're trying to find a job just so you can pay off that debt over the next 3 years. And then what? Then you're making enough money just to pay your mortgage and afford groceries and then pay for kids. And then before you know it, you're 60 and you're retiring and your body hurts because of your job and you didn't do anything that you wanted to do. And that's our life. That's what you're expected to do. And if you break out of that, then people are going to judge you and think you're weird or you're crazy or you're a hippie. I'm so sick of it. America needs to make a change. Something needs to change because people are not happy here. People are not living their dreams. People are not living their life. They are working. They think that their work is their life. It is not that way.
You're not struggling because you're poor. You're struggling because you live in the USA. You're struggling because prices have gone up tremendously, but the wages haven't. You're struggling because your bills continue to increase, but your wages haven't. You're struggling because you have greedy, corrupt CEOs of companies that are continuing to record record profits, but are refusing to pay their workers a livable wage. You're struggling because the country that prints money won't give that money back to its people. You're struggling because the country that is in $37 trillion and counting worth of debt somehow finds a way to give billions of dollars to fund new wars, but won't find any money to fund the poor. You're struggling because this country is stealing 30 to 40% of your income, if not more. You're struggling because after this country wrongfully took 30 to 40% of your income, they're telling you to pay more during tax season. You're struggling because homes that used to cost $150,000 to $200,000 10 to 15 years ago are now costing $400,000, if not $500,000. You're struggling because those starter homes that used to be seen as affordable are now being bought by large corporations. You're struggling because rent was under $1,000 10 to 15 years ago is now costing almost $3,000 for a one bedroom. You're struggling because these greedy landlords continue to increase the rent. You're struggling because a $100 grocery bill 10 to 15 years ago will get you a huge haul, will now only get you a few things in 2025. You're struggling because the gas that you used to fill up your car used to be $1 and some change per gallon is now almost $4 a gallon. You're struggling because the cost of having a good time and living life has gone up tremendously. An airplane ticket used to be $200 round trip is now $400 one way. It used to cost under $1,000 to enjoy a vacation. Now it's costing almost $3,000 to $4,000 depending on where you go. You're struggling because you're forced to get a second job just to make ends meet as things continue to skyrocket. You're struggling because the American dream is no longer the American dream. It's the American nightmare.
What's a scam that's become so normalized that we don't even realize it's a scam anymore?
The American dream. You get up at 5 in the morning, rush to be out of the house at 5:30, try to make it to work at 6. You work a 12-hour shift. In those 12 hours, you take crap from your managers and coworkers. You eat at whatever time they say that you can eat for the amount of time that you can eat. You have sick days, but if you use them, it's frowned upon. So if you want to aspire to be anything within the company, try not to use them. Then you work until you're 62 years old. You pay bills until you die, and you're expected to be grateful. Forgive me, but that it doesn't make any sense. And don't get me wrong, I'm grateful that I can go out to work to provide for my house. In fact, the Bible says that he who does not work should also not eat. So I'm in favor of hard work. What I'm not in favor of, though, is abuse. People putting their jobs in factories before their own health. When they don't need you anymore, you're gone. But if you want to leave, you better put in those 2 weeks. So yeah, it's a scam.
Well, that was a waste of time and energy I don't have. Like, I'm just so over it. I'm so frustrated. They tell me, oh, well, this certain level, something I've never heard of before in my life. It has never been brought to my attention ever in all of my medical history. Never has this level of this, whatever this stuff is, ferritin, whatever that is, has it ever been off? And she's like, usually these levels are only off because of liver disease, but your liver levels seem to be okay. Let's give you another pill, an appetite enhancer, even though it doesn't matter about the enhancing of the appetite because it's the pain and the sickness when I do have an appetite and I do eat that's the problem. Oh, you're just going to have to try to make it to your gastro appointment next month. Well, if my heart gives out, my heart gives out. Like, they don't care. Our system is so that they don't care. I literally said, please give me a feeding tube, like anything. I'm just so over it. I am so over it. I won't give up. I won't quit fighting, but I've been fighting so long it's exhausting. Like, they just let you die. They just let you die. I love y'all.
I'm an immigrant. I came to US in 99 with big dreams, you know. This country has given me so much. I met the love of my life here. I became a mother here. I became a doctor here. It gave me opportunities that the country that I'm originally from did not give to me. And this is a message from a friend of mine who also grew up under totalitarian government in Eastern Europe, like myself. And it just made me so freaking sad because for the last several years, we've been talking about, you know, that the American dream is now dead. It's been dead. It's been so dead. And even though I was just a child when I was growing up under totalitarian government, I still remember everything. I remember it so clearly. I remember all the stories that my grandparents would say. I remember the Radio Free Europe that we had in Poland, which was completely illegal. It was banned by the government for the reason of the threat of security to the Polish people. And you could get imprisoned for listening to this radio. Some of my dad's friends actually spent 2 years in prison because a neighbor ratted them out that they were listening to that radio. And at that time, it was like the only way of getting a true information of what was actually happening in the West, because everything was propaganda. I remember even the freaking cartoon. Okay, we had like one TV station, okay, that was the entire, it was just like watching Fox News 24/7, okay? It was a complete propaganda continuously, and there was a break at 7 p.m. for a cartoon for children, right? And then the cartoon would be like for, 15 or 30 minutes. And usually the cartoon would be another piece of propaganda, like Russian propaganda. And when I'm looking at what's happening in America right now, it is absolutely terrifying. It is terrifying that American people are so disillusioned and so easily distracted from what is actually happening. All these like tactics that are being done right now, it's literally just a playbook. It's a classic playbook from what we've experienced in other countries. And it breaks my heart, not only this message, because obviously, like, I love this country. I hope we can save it somehow. But also the fact that so many Americans still think that, oh, this will never happen here. It's so scary, guys. It is so scary. Like, wake up.
So I don't know if anyone has noticed yet, but America is getting super expensive to live in. Prices that were once maybe under $200,000 for a house are now in the mid $400,000 to $600,000 range. And I've also noticed that wages aren't going up. The wages are sticking to the same amount. You still have people out here who are getting paid less than $15 an hour. It's going to get to the point to where unless you're rich, you're not going to be able to afford in a house in America unless you get like some type of life insurance policy on your folks, or you get somebody to leave you some type of trust fund. If you're coming out of this new generation, you're not going to be able to buy a house. Your children are not going to be able to purchase a home. It's getting to the point to where things are just, the prices are getting outrageous. I just looked online and it's $18 at some restaurants for a hamburger. McDonald's no longer has a dollar menu. This is not the same America that we grew up in, to where people could achieve the American dream. Things are completely overpriced. Nothing's affordable. Groceries are through the roof. If you're renting something, rent prices are through the roof. Mortgage rates are at extreme all-time highs. It's going to get to the point to where nobody's going to be able to afford to live in a house in America. You're just going to have a lot of houses that are for sale that nobody's going to be purchasing.
Why, oh why do poor white people vote against themselves time and time again? They vote for Trump and the other MAGA politicians only to have every promise broken, prices go up, social supports evaporate. Here's why. First, remember what I talked about recently, the psychological wage of whiteness. That term was coined by W.E. Du Bois to describe poor white folks being paid with social status rather than decent living conditions. They're convinced by the elites that they're better than black folks, better than immigrants, Latinos, LGBTQ folks. They're convinced that being white puts them in the same league as the elites. Of course, the elites know otherwise, but the poor whites buy it because they're grasping at straws. Second, they are convinced that the people they're supposedly better than are the big threat in their lives. Not the rich, not the corporations or the politicians, but immigrants, black folks, welfare queens, LGBTQ, criminals, the usual scapegoats. Third, the elites promise protection to poor white folks. A politician comes along and says, I'll keep those people in their place, or I'll kick them out, or I'll lock them up. Or more politely, I'll defend your values. They don't say, I'll make your life better. Well, they say it, they just don't mean it. They'll say, I'll make sure they don't get ahead of you. Fourth, they vote for the punishment, not the policy. When a law gets passed that slashes public housing or school funding or food aid, they think, good, that'll stop those lazy freeloaders. And they do some mental gymnastics that make them believe it's worth losing those things for their own families in order to see those problematic Black people and immigrants and so forth being punished. It gets to a point where just seeing those guys being punished is reward enough, which is pretty sick, but that's how behavior works. Their housing, schools, and groceries are on the chopping block too, but they blame that on Biden. Always a scapegoat. They get hit by the same policies they were told would punish the others, and they blame the wrong people. The system fails them, but they've been trained to blame the scapegoats, not the cause, which is the rich people, the people they voted for. So they think the problem is still those people, not the fact that they were personally manipulated by the people they voted for. They're basically saying, I'll take the hit as long as you don't help them, or worse, as long as you hurt them. That is the psychological wage Du Bois was talking about, the trade-off between material security for racial status. And that's a crying shame, folks. One share, like, save, and comment shows that you care about white people taking responsibility for racism in America. This work is important to me, and I want to keep doing it. If you want to support me, consider a donation of any size to coffee.com/Kelly Snyder. And yeah, spelling is important. Get curious.
So guys, I hope you have watched that video and you have seen how white Americans people, they are really crying because of how America it has turned into. And majority of them, they are blaming the government, and it is because of their fault. Majority of Americans, especially Republicans and MAGA people, they went ahead and voted against their own interest. They voted because they believe that this administration is going to make America great again. And also, majority of them, they voted because they know that this new government policy, it will only affect Black people. And majority of them, they thought that struggles and poverty, it is only for Black people. But right now, we are seeing majority of them, they are losing their jobs. Majority of them, even they cannot afford basic necessities. This is to tell you that America dream, it is dead, and things are falling down in America. So guys, I have some of the comments from the Black people who have come out and react to these videos. I want you to read this comment, and also we discuss about it. And also guys, you can also share your comments on the comment section. Tell me, what do you feel about America right now? Is America still that dream country that we usually see it, or is American dream dead? Is American dream dead? So kindly guys, listen to this, what some of the people they are saying on the comment section. That's what happened when people get all reeled up about culture, war, and vote against their own interests. So we know that majority of Americans, especially MAGA, they voted against their own interests. Black people try to warn them not to vote in for this new administration, but the MAGA people, white people, they didn't listen. All they knew that this policy will only affect Black people. So right now we are seeing also they are being affected with this new government policy. So another one is saying, as an indigenous African American, my dream has always been to leave America. So this one, he wants really to leave America. Black POC and disabled people have experienced this for years and years and years. You have been living in a protected white bubble and ignore the pleading and issue of people who don't look like you. So this one is saying that whatever right now white Americans they are going through, this is now the same thing that Black people they have been going through, and they have been raising all these problems and the struggle they are facing in America. But these people, they have ignored them for years. So right now, these people, they have started to feel exactly how black people they are feeling, and for them it has really become very painful to them. And this is exactly how right now they are feeling. It is how black people they have been feeling for years and years in America. So we have another comment. You got what you voted for. See, now this one is saying that these people, they are being punished for what they voted for. Now this one is saying that they thought hardship and struggle was only for black people. Why would they think that because they know they design the system that way, but TMH is making them drink from that same cup of misery that they force on HIS people. Now, so this one is saying that these white people, they created the system to punish black people. This system right now that it is in America, these people they created so that they can punish and they can make life of black people not successful, miserable in America. But we are seeing now this system, it is coming to them. This system also, it is right now affecting them. And the way they were making life of the black people miserable, it is the same way also their life it is going to be so miserable. What it is, the American dream, quote by George Carlin. George Carlin, it is called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it. Yeah, so you can see that one, a quote from George Carlin. What it is, God help us all, amen. So this one is praying for America. Smart black people should work in America and build your house in a modernized African country, and when you are retired, move there. Now, this is exactly the point that I really tell my African people, my black people who are in the United States or all of the Western country. So go there, work, have a plan, go there in America. I know America, it is a land opportunity. There is so much opportunity in America. But then I don't know about now. So this one is saying that go in America, work, get that money, go home, back in your African country. Build the business, build your dream home there, and also it is cheaper to build your dream home in America, in Africa, as long as you have a United States dollar, because we know United States dollar, it is so much bigger than some of our African country. So come with that dollar, go back to your African country, build that house, and will live comfortable. But if you want to end your life in America, I can tell you that you will stay in America, work in America, and will die poor in America. So that is what I can tell you, to my brothers and sisters. Welcome to the land of opportunity. I wealthy individual opportunity. Now this one is welcoming people. Now the America, you can listen, the American dream is just that, a dream you have to sleep to believe it. Welcome to the party lady. You showed up late, racism. We have been spoiled into thinking we should live the TV life. TV has always shown an above average life. Now, this one is talking about how the media is portraying America, because American media is also always showing the good side of America, but they cannot show the bad side of America. So let me just read another comment here. The second last comment. Welcome to the world of black people in America and other POC. I am a FBA and my parents were from the Jim Crow South. They faced every obstacle this culture and society threw at them and taught us to do the same we always knew. That is, the dream was for a selected monetary which never included us. Yeah, so this now I've been telling you that the system in America, it has been designed to favor only white people but not black people. So there is a one here. I make decent money as well, and I am in a hole too of my adult daughter move in with me because they were paying $1,300 a month a piece, and a good forbid if they are late. Where we live, the job doesn't pay a living wage. You would need both parents to work 2 jobs just to make end meet. If I have any extra money left, believe me, something I forgot to pay. Now, this one is talking about how how you cannot just survive in America with one job. And this one I've been telling you that America, it is like a plantation farm. For you to have that good dream, for you to have that beautiful house, you will need to go and work for it. For you to have that Tesla car, a good car, you will need to work for it. So America, it is just a country whereby everything, it is about money. Everything, it is about money. So you will need to work so that you can achieve. But right now we can see things are really changing so fast. Politicians are receiving great salaries by the taxpayer. Then they want taxpayer to continuously contribute to their campaign. Meanwhile, they receive millions from their rich donors who pay little to nothing in tax or fairly pay their employees. It is all of us taxpayer. The American dream is free, but living the American dream is only a twilight zone nightmare for American taxpayer. So guys, you can see that one, it is from American, who's saying that they are there are politicians that are playing games to them, because whenever they are coming to do a campaign, they want them to contribute, but they are now these people that are being paid with the taxpayer money. So for me, I can tell you that right now things have really changed in America. And also guys, you can share your thought on the comment section. Tell me, what do you think about America? And also I'll be reading your comment on the next video. So thank you so much guys. Subscribe if you haven't. Kindly remember to give a video a thumbs up. See you on my next one. Bye bye guys.